Hey, this is Jamie from Capsule Computers, and today we are reviewing RONIN from Devolver Digital and Tomasz Wacławek. Tomasz, I am so sorry if I butchered the pronunciation of your last name. Anyways, RONIN is a turn-based stealth platformer with a touch of Angry Birds. The game is available now on Steam for $12.99 US and runs on Windows only. RONIN's gameplay breaks down into two parts: real-time platforming and turn-based combat. When the enemies are not directly engaging the heroine, players will be able to run, jump, and climb like any other platformer on the market. But once an enemy engages our hero, the game breaks up all actions into turns that equal 1 second of in-game time. Combat is inherently risky, as the heroine dies from a single hit. Stealth is encouraged, but there is no way to completely avoid all combat. At some point, the real-time platforming has to come to the end, and the heroine must slash her way through hordes of enemies. The game can be controlled with a mouse and keyboard or a controller. I tried both and found both schemes to be perfectly serviceable. Personally, I preferred using a mouse and keyboard, but that's just me. Running and climbing uses the traditional movement keys, but jumping is a little more like Angry Birds. The mouse or the right thumbstick is used to preview a jump arc, and then the jump is executed. When the game is paused, it gives players the opportunity to make strategic decisions in dealing with puzzles and combat. The story is pretty simple. It's told through a short paragraph before each of the 5 boss battles, so it provides a little more background than anything else. The revenge plot does give the game a bit of an enjoyable flair that reminds me of Tarantino's Kill Bill. Graphically, the game is pretty simple. The video options are extremely bare bones, with no option to adjust resolution, just the ability to toggle anti-aliasing, toggle VSync, and play the game in a window. The art style is also simple, but it definitely works in RONIN's favor. The game focuses on dark blues, purples, grays, and blacks, which contrast nicely against the blood and the heroine's bright red motorcycle helmet. The art style is like a Saturday morning cartoon with its simple character design, but it's unique, stylish, and utterly. The sound effects are pretty average, but the game's soundtrack is really where it's at. It's a pulsing electronic music that fits the game's dark art style perfectly. Unfortunately, the soundtrack needs to be expanded. The same song plays throughout a large portion of the game, which gets really dull over time. For all the things RONIN does right, it's utterly hamstringed by poor design choices. To gain skill points, you need to complete a level with all 3 bonus objectives, which are to kill all enemies, not trigger a lockdown alarm, and not kill any civilians. It's not much to ask for on their own, but you have to do all 3 bonus objectives in one attempt. The levels are designed where there's only 1 or 2 ways you could feasibly pull this feat off. The later levels really need a full complement of skills to get through, which catches people in a very annoying problem. You need to sit around and figure out how to beat the level perfectly, so you can get through the later levels with a reasonable amount of effort. I didn't realize exactly how much this hamstringed the game until I got to the final level, where I was pretty much allowed to go ham on the level without having to worry about any bonus objectives. All of a sudden, it was like I was playing a completely different game, and I was having the time of my life. Overall, RONIN is a hard game to love. It has its moments where it's absolutely brilliant. Then it gets caught up in some really boring and frustrating grinds. Unfortunately, this means I'm going to have to give the game a 6.5 capsules out of 10. If you want to read our full review, be sure to check out the link in the description or in the video's card. I hope to see you soon. This is Jamie from Capsule Computers signing off.